Hello Lucky Simmers and welcome back to my channel. Today we are renovating yet another retail building, but instead of turning it into a store, today we are turning it into an experimental restaurant. I'm doing more renovations on a retail lot today, and instead of making another store, I decided that I wanted to fill Magnolia Promenade with all of the types of businesses that could be owned. So there's like a retail store, there's a restaurant which we are building today, and then there's also a vet clinic which I may do in the future. And then the last lot I may just make a house or a rental lot, for people to live. And as you can see, I used the same type of pillars and fencing that I used for the antique store in this restaurant. And I also used, the connecting pieces from Cottage Living that go with the other decorative pieces just to make Magnolia Promenade look very cohesive. And I think I'm going to keep up that trend with the vet clinic and housing lot that I plan to build as well. I spent double the amount of time on this build that I spent on the first one I did, which is why I sped up the footage so much, because I didn't really want to make you guys sit through a 30-minute long video of me trying to build a restaurant. I love to rewatch my own speed builds at the part where I'm bulldozing everything and kind of cleaning the area up and preparing to put new furniture and decorations down. I think it's so satisfying to just watch it all disappear and start out with a clean slate. This build is a bit longer than the other one, not just because the renovation building and the space I had to work with was a lot bigger, but also because I struggled a lot with a few places like this host station out front, and I also struggled a little bit upstairs in deciding where to put the tables and how to do that, and even a little bit with my kitchen area and the layout of that. So it is a little bit longer here and there just because I was figuring more out on the spot, versus with my other build I had done it a few times and messed it up a few times off camera. So this one is a bit more messy. No matter how many times I changed things around though, I knew that I wanted those tables out front and a little sitting area outside. I was also very dead set on having a piano in one of the sides of the restaurant on a platform so that there could be an entertainer there that you could hire to perform, and I thought that was really cool. I also really wanted to have this little think board in the kitchen area. You can see that I put it up later when I'm decorating the kitchen, but I thought it was really cute and I was like, no matter what, I'm keeping this. I also put a private bathroom in the kitchen area or by the kitchen area just so the staff had easy access to the bathroom and they didn't have to walk all the way out and across to the other communal bathrooms. I also felt like it would be more convenient for them to get back to what they're doing and not have to talk to customers while they've got big orders going on and they're stressed out. These wine storage cabinets over here aren't actually functional, but I thought they would make great decoration and ambiance for getting a feel for a serving area back here. And I put up a lot of things like spices and knives, and here's that gallery wall I was talking about. I also put the waiter station back here just so, again, customers can't mess with their stuff or do stuff like that, and then this is a sitting area. The actual building of the piano platform is kind of annoying, so you can see I have to place the platform, which removes the wall, and I have to put it back. But here I got the idea to push the walls in a little bit and make a little overhanging plants. The actual plants aren't in their spot at this point of the speed build just yet, but they will be there pretty soon. And I got to use some of my favorite windows for this. I really love the romantic garden stuff windows, but I feel like they don't go very well with many builds and I never get to use them. So this was really nice for me to get to use some of my favorite windows in this build. I really went all out decorating this lot. I added a lot more plants and ivy to the windows, which I wouldn't normally do. And not just that, I also changed up the actual build formatting and the floor plan a lot more than I did with the last one. I even changed the outer walls, which I barely did with the other retail build I did. But I think that this build really needed some extra oomph It was very much like a bigger step up from what I had done previously. Not just that, but I was also kind of inspired with how well Dine Out and Get to work together. Get to Work is kind of focused on aliens and owning a retail store, obviously. And Dine Out also is about owning a business, but it also has some very fun items, like mostly meal items because it is Dine Out. But like the items you could put on the menu, they're like from Sixum, they're like experimental alien foods. And I think that just works very well with the stuff we were given in Get to Work, where it was like the basis. It was like, oh, you can become an alien, you can look at this, this, and this, along with the base game stuff we have for aliens. So I thought that was really fun. I will admit it was a bit of a struggle to find a good seating arrangement for the tables and chairs because I didn't want it to be too normal looking, but I also didn't want the seating to look too out of the ordinary. I tried to strike that balance between classy and unique with my setup, so I added a lot of florals. I also tried to use symmetrical shapes on both sides so that it would still look appealing to the eye. And here you can see me messing around with a couple of tables. I moved some of these smaller tables later on in favor of some larger medium-sized tables just because I think they fit better with the space, but the ones on the back wall and the ones by the open door frames I do keep. It's just a few of them that I do switch because I think it'll make it easier to walk through and make it more accessible. Make sure that if you do download these lots and decide to change anything, that you do use bb.move objects. I took a break between my first and second build sessions, only to find out that some of the work I was doing during that second session had gotten rid of some of my work during the first session because I didn't turn on the cheat for bb.move objects on. I did end up putting things back in their original spots off camera just to make sure you guys didn't have to watch all of that again. The image of the build from the world actually looked a bit boring, I thought, so I decided to put some landscaping down as much as I could just around the little border just to make it a little bit nicer and more polished. And you can see I'm struggling a bit here. I'm shaking the things around because they keep trying to go up onto the foundation, but I want them on the ground. And it kind of goes over the lot, but it's still technically allowed. I put these vampires windows on the corners of the upper floor because I thought they would look better than just the romantic garden windows I had been using. And I think that they made this space look a little different and not just plain and boring. So I really like that part about them, and I put pillars in between them and the romantic garden windows to separate them a little bit. I think they give the build this old revamped castle kind of look, and I think it makes it much more interesting than just a building, like this big boxy building. And after I complete the outer layers and the landscaping, you can see me complete the downstairs area. I think it's kind of my thing now to complete the upper floors before I complete the lower downstairs area for some reason. I think it's like what I said earlier in that last video, where the upper spaces are usually smaller than the downstairs areas, so I just feel more comfortable working with them. Here I'm just putting final touches on the kitchen area and the host area that I mentioned earlier. I had thought I had completed all of the main stuff there, but I figured they could use some more final touches, and I remembered that I hadn't put any table menus anywhere, so I put those near the host stand and all of the tables upstairs. And then you can see me also working on the piano area a little bit because I had started on it and then I decided I was just going to leave it, and then I came back to it later, and this is later. I changed the color of the piano, and then I start working on tables. I put a lot more lavish stuff downstairs than I did the upstairs for some reason. I think I really wanted some fancy stuff, and I didn't really want to redo the whole upstairs because I still really liked it. So I put a lot of fancier tables with a lot more decoration downstairs. I guess, I don't know. And these chairs are all the same just because you don't typically see multicolored chairs in a fancy dining area like you would do in the upstairs or more contemporary dining area that I made. Instead, I put down different rugs to add variety and differentiate between them. But it doesn't really matter that the tables are differentiated because one's in the middle, one's against the wall, and one's against the other wall, so there's not very much way to get them confused. But I think it just adds something extra to the build. Here I'm just adding some curtains to our bathrooms just to add some privacy, and actually completing our little communal bathroom for the customers to use. And I switch out these lights quite a bit. I was struggling to find ones that lit up the stalls enough but also fit in the bathroom well. After that, I wanted to make the bathroom look a little more fancy, so I spruced things up a little. I also used some bronze accents to make it look classy. And finally, I add some extra landscaping to the back of the building and kind of start moving things around that honestly, I don't know how they got moved around. I think I had a mishap here and there with the furniture. Here is the moment we've been waiting for, our grand reveal. So in front of our restaurant, we have a little sign and a few menu plaques before we walk in, and on the sides we have some outdoor tables. And walking in here, you see the bar and the hostess station, piano, table over on this side, some wall decorations, and a little nightstand with some plants and lights over here. And moving over to the other side, we also have a few more tables with our fancy place settings and rugs. And we also have a few sculptures over by our host stand and more decorations. And then over here we have a little side table with some decorations and a lamp. And looking back, we see all our different rugs used for our tables. And we are headed into our communal bathroom with a few sinks, a mirror on the side, and a bunch of different toilet stalls that people can use simultaneously. And we walk up the stairs. Here we are in this little upstairs hallway area, and you can see the outside of our little bathrooms with some plants and similar bathrooms as before, but these are just single person rooms instead of communal bathroom areas. And then we have our little open area. As you can see, we have little areas where you can see the downstairs and our little music areas so we can play music. And we have a bunch of tables again. These are more modern tables, less fancy, but I think they are really cute. And they all have menus and things on them. Another music area with a little plant in the corner. And then I think this is my favorite part. This is our upstairs outdoor seating area with a few big tables and some more just outside little tables. I love them so much. I think they're really cute. And I forgot to show off our little service area in the first tour, but as we head through this little door back here, we have our kitchen with our waiter station as well, and some boxes, and I imagine these to be like food boxes. We have some coat racks and umbrella stands, stuff like that for the servers and people to put their things down. And then this is our cooking area. We've got the traditional dine out setup and a normal kitchen setup all put together. And through this decorative door, we have our host stand from the inside with a bunch of menus, and that is our tour of the restaurant. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you can find the completed build under my username, LuckyBerrySims, on the Sims 4 gallery. Remember that you are beautiful, you are kind, and you are loved.